Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. जय श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की, जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, गौर निताय की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Please, we request everyone to keep your hands up in the air. Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Jai Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Gauranitai ki. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone, thank you for joining for the Aarti. We are going to be offering our obeisance to Guru Parampara. So if you got some space, you can bow down.
Jai Om Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrakacharya Astatarasta Shishmad His Divine Grace Abhashana Vrindam Bhaktivedanta Gosha Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrakacharya Astatarasta Shishmad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Gosha Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakun Radha Kun Giri Govardhana Ki Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki Shri Ayodhya Dhama Ki Shri Nilachala Chandra Dhama Ki Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dhama Ki Ganga Jamuna Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Shri Kadashi Vrata Ki Shri Purushottam Masa Ki Nitai Go Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Lord Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Vishtaya Vitale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami
Can we please sit down for Narasimha prayers? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लाद लाददायिने प्रह्लाद लाददायिने हिरण्यवाकी पूर्वशः हिरण्याकाकी पूर्वशः शीलाचङ्गानकाराये शीलाचङ्गानकाराये इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो परे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो परे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहामणिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहामणिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवदे नाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवदे नाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवदे नाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवदे नाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे
जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निता गोरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निता गोरा हरि बोल निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल राधा गोकुलानंद की जय जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की जय गौर निताय की जय प्रभुपाद की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. So, as I was mentioning, this is a very, very auspicious month. It's a month of Purushottam, and it is another few more days we have before it ends, and it's going to come only after 3 years again from now. So you can imagine how auspicious. And as you can see, everybody is lighting candles, and very important for us to understand the significance of lighting a candle, because you would remember during the month of Damodar also, in October time frame, we do the same thing. Because it is mentioned in the scriptures that even if you light candle once, if you light a lamp for Krishna, it is like it burns away millions of sins we have committed in so many lifetimes. It's a very, very auspicious thing to do. Lord Krishna is always, He loves us so much that He's always looking at how to burn away all our sins. So He's giving opportunities like Ekadasi, Purushottam month, lighting the candles, all these ways, all the different ways we can burn all our bad karma and come closer and closer to Krishna. So He's always looking at how best can I get my devotees together. And not only that, because we want to relish the beautiful pastimes of this month of Purushottam, who's the name? The Purushottam is another name of Krishna, right? Purusha means enjoyer, Uttama means the highest. He is the supreme enjoyer. And we are all part and parcel of the supreme enjoyer. So we should joyfully enjoy, right? And how can we enjoy in this material world? By just thinking about the divine leelas of Krishna, divine pastimes of Krishna. But we always have to keep in mind that every pastime of Krishna is very transcendental, is very spiritual, not to be compared like a material thing, right? Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tapritaha chakta deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, Krishna says, Janma karma cha me divyam, that anything that Krishna does in this world, they're all completely spiritual. Krishna's appearance, Krishna's leelas, stealing the butter in the gopis' houses, stealing the heart of Radharani, all these things are all transcendental, completely spiritual, not to be understood in the material sense. So this Chorastikam that we're doing, what does chor mean? Thief, right? And who's the biggest thief? The king of all the thieves is Krishna. Why do we call him as the king of all the thieves? Because Krishna, even though he had 900,000 cows, he would go into the neighbors' gopis' houses and he would go and steal the butter. Why would Krishna have to steal the butter when he had so many cows with his house? The reason is because The gopis, with so much of love, they were churning this yogurt into butter with so much of love. And that butter is what Krishna wants, right? He wants the butter which is made with so much of love. So even in this material world, if we offer anything out of love to Krishna, Krishna says there are 4 things that we can offer to love for Krishna. And I want to just give you quickly this particular sloka from Bhagavad Gita, if you can repeat after me, because in this way, Krishna is showing that if you make a humble offering with so much of love, Krishna will surely accept it, right? So quickly, I just want everyone to repeat after me. Patram pushpam.
Patram pushpam.
Palam toyam.
Palam toyam.
Yome bhakta. Prayachati. Tad aham. Bhaktya. Upahritam. Asnami. Prayatatmana. So the sloka goes this way. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam asnami prayatatmana. Krishna Bhagavan is saying in Bhagavad Gita that those devotees who make a humble offering to me with lots of love and devotion, just a leaf, tulsi leaf, a flower, a fruit or water. 4 simple things, right? A tulsi leaf, a flower, a fruit or water, if you offer with love and devotion, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, I will surely accept it. So this is the love that Krishna is looking at, and this is the same way we are going to be reading this beautiful, the lyrics are there on the TV screen. I'm going to change it now, and all of you can follow this beautiful bhajan called Chorastikam, which talks about the divine leelas of Krishna, how he was stealing the butter. Not only is stealing the butter and the heart of Radharani, but he's stealing all our sins. He's stealing all our anxieties. When you come to the mandir, don't you feel very peaceful? Why are you feeling very peaceful? Because Krishna steals all our anxieties. He's stealing all our tensions away. And in return, this thief gives you a lot of Krishna prema. Right? That's the reason why you feel so peaceful, isn't it? So this is a special thief who steals away all our problems, steals away all our anxieties, and in return, he leaves Krishna prema with all of us. So this way, so please, all of us join us for this beautiful Chorastikam. Prabhuji is going to sing, and all of us, we are going to do chorus after that, okay? And I'm going to just change the lyrics, so you can just look at the TV for the lyrics.
Krishna Prishta Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachayani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtatare Shatayani. It's okay. Otherwise, it's in my nose. Yeah, I don't know. Make me sit down. Prasidham Navanita Choram Gopangananam Chadukula Choram Prasidham Navanita Choram Gopangananam Chadukula Choram Raje Prasidham Navanita Choram Gopangananam Chadukula Chauram Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami. Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami. Shri Radhikaya Hridayasya Chauram Navam Buddhasham Malakanti Chauram. Shri Radhikaya Hridayasya Chauram Navam Buddhasham Malakanti Chauram. Padashritanam Chasamasta Chauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami. I think we'll go line by line. Instead of double, we'll go single lines. Akinchani kritya padashritam ya. Akinchani kritya padashritam ya. Karoti bhikshum patigehahinam. Akinchani kritya padashritam ya. Karoti bhikshum patigehahinam. Kenapyahobhi shana chaura itik. Kenapyahobhi shana chaura itik. Drishta shrutova na jagat trayepi. Yadiya nama piharatya shesham. Yadiya nama piharatya shesham. Giri prasaran api paparashi. Giri prasaran api paparashi. Ascharya rupo nanu chaura idrig. 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 Drishta shrutova namaya kadapi. Drishta shrutova Drishta shrutova namaya kadapi. Dhanam chamanam chatatindriyani. Dhanam chamanam chatatindriyani. Pranam shahritva mama sarvam eva. Pranam shahritva mama sarvam eva. Palayase kutra drutodya chaura. Palayase kutra drutodya chaura. Tvam bhakti damna simaya niruddha. Tvam bhakti damna simaya niruddha. Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham. Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham. Bhinatsi bhimam bhavapasha bandham. Bhinatsi bhimam bhavapasha bandham. Chinatsi sarvasya samasta bandham. Chinatsi sarvasya samasta bandham. Naivatmano bhakta kirtam tu bandham. Naivatmano bhakta kirtam tu bandham. Manmanase tamasa rashi gore. Manmanase tamasa rashi gore. Karagurhe dukkha maye nibadha. Karagurhe dukkha maye nibadha. Labhasva he chaura hare chiraya. Labhasva he chaura hare chiraya. Svachoya dosho chitam eva dandam. Svachoya dosho chitam eva dandam. Karagurhe vasasada hridaye mariye. Karagurhe vasasada hridaye mariye. Madbhakti pasha drita bandhana nishchalasan. Madbhakti pasha drita bandhana nishchalasan. Tvam Krishna he pralaya koti shatantarepi. Tvam Krishna he pralaya koti shatantarepi. Sarvasya chora hridayan nahi mokshayami. Sarvasya chora hridayan. Sarvasva chaura hridayan nahi mokshayami. Sarvasva chaura hridayan nahi mokshayami. prasidham navanita chauram Vraje prasidham navanita chauram Vraje prasidham navanita chauram Gopangananam chadukula chauram Gopangananam chadukula chauram Aneka janmarjita papa chauram Aneka janmarjita papa chauram Chauragraganyam purusham namami Chauragraganyam purusham namami So now we'll read the translation. I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in Vraja as the butter thief, and who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes.
I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of these, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark lustre of the fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet.
He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggars. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds.
Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins. Such an astonishingly wonderful thief I've never seen or heard of anywhere.
O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life and my everything, where are you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion.
You cut the terrible noose of Yamaraj. You sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage, but you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees.
O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance, and there for a very long time you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery.
O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for a million of aeons.
Srila Bilvamangala Thakur Ki Jaya. This song is composed by Srila Bilvamangala Thakur. So the appropriate punishment for a thief is at least to be caught and imprisoned. So Srila Bilvamangala Thakur is saying that Krishna may be such a thief, huh? He's stealing so many things. But he has not managed to escape the capture of his devotee, who has bound the Lord by his pure love within the heart. Krishna can only be purchased, can only be bound by bhakti, by love, devotion. And therefore the process of devotional service is so powerful because it captures God. Lord Brahma says that Krishna, who is Ajita, unconquerable, can be conquered. He agrees to be Jita, he agrees to be conquered. How? Stane stita shutigatan tanavang manopir ye prayasho jita jitopasi trilokyam. Krishna is the property of his devotees. And when his devotees narrate his glories and come together to discuss his name, to chant his name and to discuss his form, his quality, his transcendental pastimes, then Krishna, who is residing in everyone's heart, he runs there. He is present wherever his devotees are describing and discussing his glories. And if we, as listeners of such narrations, dedicate our minds, our bodies, we come to the temple, we sit down, we in this way sacrifice our bodily comfort and consciousness. We put our mind on the Lord, and we also engage our tongue and our voice boxes in glorifying Krishna by reciting descriptions of the Lord given by his great devotees. Then Krishna becomes Jita, he becomes conquered. Stane stita shuti gitam tanavan manobhir ye prayasho jita jito pyasi thrice trilokya. Krishna becomes conquered. And so, the primary process of devotional service is to hear about God. And therefore our founder Acharya, spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, he wrote so many books for our benefit. And he said that each center, all of our centers, are meant to give people a chance to hear about Krishna. So every day we are reading from this book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can purchase a copy just at the reception. They have it on the bookshelf. It's simply called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is only one of the books that Srila Prabhupada left for us. We're continuing our reading. We're in volume 2, chapter 11, and this one is called The Deliverance of Paundraka and the King of Kashi. So Paundraka was a scoundrel. He was a great rascal, in the words of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna himself. Why? Because Paundraka wanted to present himself as God. Even to the effect that he accused Krishna of being an impostor. Paundraka basically told Krishna that you should give up these symbols of Vishnu, give up your disc and your club and your lotus flower. What's the other one? Club, disc, lotus, and conch shell. Yes? Give up these symbols of Lord Vishnu. You're the impostor. I am actually Vasudeva, incarnated on this earth to uplift my devotees. And he practically gave the Lord an ultimatum that if you don't recognize your subordinate position to me, then we'll have to fight and I will defeat you in battle. In this way, Paundraka had great delusions of grandeur. So Krishna met his challenge. Paundraka sent a messenger to the Lord to deliver this news to him. And of course everyone laughed heartily at this message, and then Krishna returned his own message. The Lord said, O messenger of Paundraka, you may carry my message to your master. He is a foolish rascal. I directly call him a rascal, and I refuse to follow his instructions. I shall never give up the symbols of Vasudeva, especially my disc. Does anyone know the name of this disc? Sudarshan. Yes, he's very powerful. I shall use this disc to kill not only King Paundraka, but all his followers also. I shall destroy this Paundraka and his foolish associates, who merely constitute a society of cheaters and cheated. When this action is taken, foolish king, you will have to conceal your face in disgrace. And when your head is severed from your body by my disc, it will be surrounded by meat-eating birds like vultures, hawks, and eagles. At that time, instead of becoming my shelter, as you have demanded, you will be subjected to the mercy of these low-born birds. At that time, your body will be thrown to the dogs, who will eat it with great pleasure. As we're reading, if there's anything specific that you find striking, keep it in mind, and you can tell me a little bit after. And if you have any questions as we're going through, then please speak up and we'll try to answer them. I can't hear you approaching. What was that? Oh. You need a microphone. We need to get you a microphone. Prabhu, can I have your permission to keep reading? No, thank you. The messenger carried the words of Lord Krishna to his master, Paundraka, who patiently heard all these insults. Without waiting longer, Lord Sri Krishna immediately started out on his chariot to punish the rascal Paundraka. Because at that time the king of Purusha was living with his friend, the king of Kashi, Krishna surrounded the whole city of Kashi. King Paundraka was a great warrior, and as soon as he heard of Krishna's attack, he came out of the city along with 2 Akshauhini divisions of soldiers. That's not a small number. I cannot remember the exact enumeration of 1 Akshauhini, but it's a lot of soldiers. Horses, chariots, elephants. Quite a division. So he came out with 2 Akshauhini divisions of soldiers. The king of Kashi was also a friend to King Paundraka, and he came out with 3 Akshauhini divisions. When the 2 kings came before Lord Krishna to oppose him, Krishna saw Paundraka face to face for the first time. Krishna saw that Paundraka had decorated himself with the symbols of the Kansha, disc, lotus, and club. He carried the Shanga bow, and on his chest was the insignia of Srivatsa. His neck was decorated with a false Kaustuba jewel, and he wore a flower garland in exact imitation of Lord Vasudeva. He was dressed in yellow-colored silken garments, and the flag on his chariot carried the symbol of Garuda, exactly imitating Krishna's. He had a very valuable helmet on his head, and his earrings, like swordfish, glittered brilliantly. On the whole, however, his dress and makeup were clearly imitation. Anyone could understand that he was just like someone on stage playing the part of Vasudeva in false dress. When Lord Sri Krishna saw Paundraka imitating his posture and dress, he could not check his laughter, and thus he laughed with great satisfaction. Imagine somebody comes out and they're dressed exactly like you, they're decorated exactly as you are, and they really believe that they are who you are. It would be quite comical. So Krishna had a good laugh at this. The soldiers on the side of King Paundraka began to shower their weapons upon Krishna. The weapons, including various kinds of tridents, clubs, poles, lances, swords, daggers, and arrows, came flying in waves, and Krishna counteracted them. He smashed not only the weapons, but also the soldiers and assistants of Paundraka, just as during the dissolution of this universe, the fire of devastation burns everything to ashes. The elephants, chariots, horses, and infantry belonging to the opposite party were scattered by the weapons of Krishna. The whole battlefield became scattered with the bodies of animals and chariots. There were fallen horses, elephants, men, asses, and camels. Although the devastated battlefield appeared like the dancing place of Lord Shiva at the time of the dissolution of the world, the warriors who were on the side of Krishna were very much encouraged by seeing this, and they fought with greater strength. At this time, Lord Krishna told Paundraka, "Paundraka, you requested me to give up the symbols of Lord Vishnu, specifically my disc. Now I will give it up to you. Be careful, you falsely declare yourself to be Vasudeva, imitating myself. Therefore, no one is a greater fool than you." From this statement of Krishna's, it is clear that any rascal who advertises himself as God is the greatest fool in human society. Krishna continued, "Now, Paundraka, I shall force you to give up this false representation. You wanted me to surrender unto you. Now this is your opportunity. We shall now fight, and if I am defeated and you become victorious, I shall certainly surrender unto you." In this way, after chastising Paundraka very severely, he smashed his chariot to pieces by shooting an arrow. With the help of his disc, he separated the head of Paundraka from his body, just as Indra shaves off the peaks of mountains by striking them with his thunderbolt. Similarly, he also killed the king of Kashi with his arrows. Lord Krishna specifically arranged to throw the head of the king of Kashi into the city of Kashi itself, so that his relatives and family members could see it. This was done by Krishna just as a hurricane carries a lotus petal here and there. Lord Krishna called Paundraka and his friend Kashi Raja on the battlefield. Lord Krishna killed Paundraka and his friend Kashi Raja on the battlefield, and then he returned to his capital city, Dwarka. Any thoughts, reflections? Anything that jumps out at you? Any realizations? No? We'll keep reading. Anything? When Lord Krishna returned to the city of Dwarka, all the cities from the heavenly planets were singing the glories of the Lord. As far as Paundraka was concerned, somehow or other he was always thinking of Lord Vasudeva by falsely dressing himself in that way. And therefore, Paundraka achieved Sarupya, one of the 5 kinds of liberation, and was thus promoted to the Vaikuntha planets, where the devotees have the same bodily features as Vishnu, with 4 hands holding the 4 symbols. So although this was quite a ghastly end for Paundraka, he had his head lopped off, he didn't do too badly in the end, did he? He achieved, well, almost. He achieved Sarupya liberation. He attained a form which was very, very similar to Lord Vishnu. This was as close as he could get. So even if Krishna apparently becomes one's enemy, of course he's no one's enemy. He's equal to all. But if one makes Krishna an enemy and Krishna comes to kill you, then it's only good for you. Can only be good. Because this Paundraka received his liberation. It's said that all of the warriors on the Battle of Kurukshetra, all of them were liberated because they died in the presence of Lord Krishna. Krishna is all good, absolute. Anything he does is for the good of everyone. Nobody is a loser. Including Pandrika, or even the king of Kashi, or anyone connected. So Pandrika was promoted to the Vaikuntha planets, where the devotees had the same bodily features as Vishnu, with 4 hands holding the 4 symbols. Factually, his meditation was concentrated on the Vishnu form. But because he thought himself to be Lord Vishnu, it was offensive. So he was always concentrating on Lord Vishnu's form, which was perfect. Unfortunately, he thought that he himself was Vishnu, and that's why he was offensive. After being killed by Krishna, however, that offense was also mitigated. Thus he was given Sarupya liberation, and he attained the same form as the Lord. So, being killed by Krishna, all his offenses were mitigated. When the head of the king of Kashi was thrown through the city gate, people gathered and were astonished to see that wonderful thing. When they found out that there were earrings on it, they could understand that it was someone's head. They conjectured as to whose head it might be. Some thought it was Krishna's head, because Krishna was the enemy of Kashi Raja, and they calculated that the king of Kashi might have thrown Krishna's head into the city, so that the people might take pleasure that the enemy was killed. But it was finally detected that the head was not Krishna's, but that of Kashi Raja himself. When it was so ascertained, the queens of the king of Kashi immediately approached and began to lament the death of their husband. "My dear Lord," they cried, "upon your death we have become just like dead bodies." The king of Kashi had one son, whose name was Sudakshina. After observing the ritualistic funeral ceremonies, he took a vow that since Krishna was the enemy of his father, he would kill Krishna and in this way liquidate his debts to his father. Therefore, accompanied by a learned priest qualified to help him, he began to worship Mahadeva, Lord Shiva. The Lord of the kingdom of Kashi is Vishwanatha, Lord Shiva. The temple of Lord Vishwanatha is still existing in Varanasi, and many thousands of pilgrims still gather daily in that temple. By the worship of Sudakshina, Lord Shiva was very much pleased, and he wanted to give a benediction to his devotee. And so Lord Shiva is also known as Asutosh. He's very easily pleased, also easily angered. We heard earlier how the demon Banasura was also a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was very pleased with him and benedicted him. In fact, Lord Shiva came himself to guard Banasura's city and ended up fighting directly with Lord Krishna, and there was a great battle between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. We heard that in the preceding chapter. Krishna, of course, was victorious. Lord Shiva knows that Krishna is his master, but they had this pastime of meeting each other in battle. So, Lord Shiva was very pleased with Sudakshina, the son of the king of Kashi. He wanted to give him a benediction. Sudakshina's purpose was to kill Krishna, and therefore he prayed for a specific power by which he could kill him. Talk about an impossible wish, right? An impossible wish. You know, he says he wants to kill God. Yeah. Lord Shiva advised that Sudakshina, assisted by the Brahmanas, execute the ritualistic ceremony for killing one's enemy. This ceremony is also mentioned in some of the tantras. Lord Shiva informed Sudakshina that if such a black ritualistic ceremony were performed properly, then the evil spirit named Dakshin Agni would appear to carry out any order given to him. So there is a black art by which one can summon this evil spirit and send it to kill one's enemy. Don't try it. He would have to be employed, however, to kill someone other than a qualified Brahmana. In such a case, he would be accompanied by Lord Shiva's ghostly companions, and the desire of Sudakshina to kill his enemy would be fulfilled. When Sudakshina was encouraged by Lord Shiva in that way, is anyone else wondering what Lord Shiva is thinking by giving him this advice? He knows what's going to go down. When Sudakshina was encouraged by Lord Shiva in that way, because if Sudakshina, Lord Shiva is basically sending Sudakshina to his death, but that will be good for him. He'll be killed by the Lord. When Sudakshina was encouraged by Lord Shiva in that way, he became assured that he would be able to kill Krishna. With a determined vow of austerity, he began to execute black art of chanting mantras assisted by the priests. After this, out of the fire came a great demonic form whose hair, beard, and moustache were exactly the color of hot copper. This form was very big and fierce. As the demon arose from the fire, cinders of fire emanated from the sockets of his eyes. The giant fiery demon appeared still more fierce due to the movements of his eyebrows. He exhibited long, sharp teeth and, sticking out his long tongue, licked both sides of his lips. He was naked, and he carried a big trident, which was blazing like fire. After appearing from the fire of sacrifice, he stood wielding the trident in his hand. Instigated by Sudakshina, the demon proceeded toward the capital city, Dwarka, along with many hundreds of ghostly companions, and it appeared that he was going to burn all outer space to ashes. The surface of the earth trembled because of his striking steps. When he entered the city of Dwarka, all the residents panicked, just like animals at the time of a forest fire. Any thoughts? At that time, Krishna was engaged in playing chess in the Royal Assembly Council Hall. All the residents of Dwarka approached and addressed him. Dear Lord of the three worlds, there is a great fiery demon ready to burn the whole city of Dwarka. Please save us. Thus, after approaching Lord Krishna, all the inhabitants of Dwarka began to appeal to him for protection from the fiery demon who had just appeared in Dwarka to devastate the whole city. Lord Krishna, who specifically protects his devotees, saw that the whole population of Dwarka was most perturbed by the presence of the great fiery demon. He immediately began to smile and assured them, "Don't worry, I shall give you all protection." The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is all-pervading. He is within everyone's heart, and he is without also in the form of the cosmic manifestation. He could understand that the fiery demon was a creation of Lord Shiva, and in order to vanquish him, he took his Sudarshana chakra and ordered him to take the necessary steps. The Sudarshana chakra appeared with the effulgence of millions of suns, his temperature being as powerful as that of the fire created at the end of the cosmic manifestation. By his own effulgence, the Sudarshan Chakra began to illuminate the entire universe, on the surface of the earth as well as in outer space. It's getting a little bit loud for me. If we need to talk, can we talk in lesser decibels? If anyone can hear me. Just the people that need to hear me can't hear me, that's the problem. By his own effulgence, the Sudarshan Chakra began to illuminate the entire universe, on the surface of the earth as well as in outer space. Then the Sudarshana Chakra began to freeze the fiery demon created by Lord Shiva. In this way, the fiery demon was checked by the Sudarshana Chakra of Lord Krishna. And being defeated in his attempt to devastate the city of Dwarka, he turned back. Any thoughts? Questions, anything? No? Having failed to set fire to Dwarka, he went back to Varanasi, the kingdom of Kashi Raja. As a result of his return, all the priests who had helped instruct the black art of mantras, along with their employer, Sudakshina, were burned into ashes by the glaring effulgence of the fiery demon. And this is why you shouldn't get involved in black arts. If it doesn't work out, it'll come back on you. So if you send such a thing to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of course, it's going to be an ignoble end. What to speak of Krishna's devotees, whom the Lord is very careful to protect. So all of the priests that Sudakshina had employed, and Sudakshina himself, they were burned into ashes by the glaring effulgence of the fiery demon. According to the methods of black art mantras instructed in the Tantra, if the mantra fails to kill the enemy, then, because it must kill someone, it kills the original creator. Sudakshina was the originator, and the priests assisted him. Therefore, all of them were burned to ashes. This is the way of the demons. The demons create something to kill God, but by the same weapon, the demons themselves are killed. The contemporary example is nuclear weapon. Just create something by which to destroy your whole civilization. Following just behind the fiery demon, the Sudarshana Chakra also entered Varanasi. This city of Varanasi had been very opulent and great for a very long time. Even now, the city of Varanasi is very opulent and famous, and it is one of the important cities of India. There were many big palaces, assembly houses, marketplaces, and gates, with very important large monuments by the palaces and gates. Lecturing platforms could be found at each and every crossing of the roads. There was a treasury house, and elephant heads, horse heads, chariots, granaries, and places for distribution of foodstuff. The city of Varanasi had been filled with all these material opulences for a very long time. But because the king of Kashi and his son Sudakshina were against Lord Krishna, the Vishnu Chakra, Sudarshana, the disc weapon of Lord Krishna, devastated the whole city by burning all these important places. This excursion was more ravaging than modern bombing. The Sudarshana Chakra, having thus finished his duty, came back to his Lord, Sri Krishna, at Dwarka. So don't mess with Krishna and his devotees. Don't become an enemy toward the Lord. Don't be inimical. It won't end well. one will lose everything, and whatever opulence one has developed or established will be destroyed, will be lost. This narration of the devastation of Varanasi by Krishna's disc weapon, the Sudarshana Chakra, is transcendental and auspicious. Anyone who narrates this story, or anyone who hears this story with faith and attention, will be released from all reactions to sinful activities. This is the assurance of Shukadeva Goswami, who narrated the story to Parikshit Maharaj. Thus ends the second volume, 11th chapter of Krishna, Deliverance of Paundraka and the King of Kashi. Nice benediction for all of us here. Any thoughts, comments, realizations, questions? Yes? This is in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, everything in this book, Krishna, is from the 10th canto, describing all of the various pastimes of Lord Krishna when he was on this earth. What's this fascination to kill Krishna? Well, Bhumi Devi, she appealed to Lord Brahma, yeah, that I'm suffering, I'm in distress as a result of the burden of demonic kings and their defenses. And as we go through Krishna book, we realize that Krishna actually confronts demon after demon after demon, and all of them have these massive armies. Yeah, you know, they bring out so many Akshahinis to face Krishna. I mean, Krishna wiped out Jarasandha's forces 18 times. Each time Jarasandha came with a humongous army, and Krishna annihilated them 18 times. You know, and that was just one demon. So there were so many demons, and obviously they had heavy military reserves, and that was Krishna's mission, to relieve the earth of this burden of demons. So what's the fascination with the demons?
They just don't understand that Krishna is God.
They have a demonic mentality. Their nature is demonic. Asuric. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, there are two natures in this world, the divine and the demoniac. And then he describes in detail the demoniac characteristic, full of pride, ostentation, and the desire to enjoy this world for themselves. They think that they are the Lord of all creation and that everything is meant for them. And they will exploit and subjugate and consume. They just think that they are the center of the universe, essentially. It's false ego. So in material consciousness, the living entity is corrupted, polluted by this perverse notion that he is the center and that everything is meant for his pleasure. He doesn't know that actually he is part of the true center. He is part of the complete whole, Krishna. And failing to acknowledge this and to act in accordance with it, he sets about attempting to lord it over his environment. And everybody's attempting this. Yeah? We have our little patch and we are attempting to control it. Because unless we can control it, we can't enjoy it. So all of us are trying to control and enjoy our own little patch of influence. And then we end up fighting with others who what's the word? Not intervene, but they encroach on our patch. So there's a great competition for supremacy, owing to this demonic separatist mentality. So It's interesting, isn't it? That yes, these demons, they specifically targeted Krishna. You know, there's so many demons, and a lot of them just say, oh, you know, where's God? There is no God. Yeah, they don't even know anything about the Vedas. Of course, some do. But it's interesting that these particular demons took birth and had the opportunity to face Krishna on the battlefield. So they were, like Prahlad Maharaj calls his father, best of the Asuras, or best of the Asuras. You have to be the best of the demons in order to face Lord Krishna. In order for Krishna to appear, to kill you personally, you must be the best of the demons. Don't know if that answers your question. Tell me.
It seems like they're just like in illusions, like saying that when Indra said, did you not understand that Krishna is God? He said in all those stories, and that's the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah. Indra.
We do not know that this is God. Even Indra gets the illusion and that will happen.
Yes. Because they're not able to recognize that this child, this 7-year-old boy, Krishna, is actually my master. He knows Lord Vishnu. He knows Lord Vishnu. And he sees a little boy. He doesn't have four hands. He's just a little boy. And he happens to be bluish. And he's playing with his friends in the cowherd pastures. And they're eating lunch. And he's, you know, right? And they're sharing the lunch and they're feeding each other. So he's Indra, the king of heaven. He has great responsibilities and he's overseeing so many things. And he happens to see a small boy who may bear some resemblance to, the Lord, but he doesn't know absolutely that this is God appearing. He's not able to recognize it. Just in the same way as Jambavan. When Krishna entered Jambavan's cave to retrieve the Shamataka jewel, Jambavan didn't recognize that Krishna was his Lord and Master. Jambavan is a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. Yes? He was just angry because someone has come into the cave and is taking my kid's toy. Yeah? So his consciousness was polluted by anger. And he couldn't understand that this person that has come is the Supreme Personality of God. So, being affected by the material modes of nature, Krishna is Adhokshaja. He is imperceptible. He's beyond. You cannot understand him. You cannot perceive him unless you yourself are on the transcendental platform. So Indradev certainly is a devotee, but he was, because of pride, being influenced by the mode of passion and false pride, he was not able to recognize his master. And after he had been humbled out, and he realized, wow, you know, everything I'm throwing at Krishna is not working, and he's working it out with his little pinky. Yeah, and I'm having no effect here. And as his pride was curtailed, as his pride was finished by the Lord, and he became humble, and then the intelligence came naturally from within that, oh, this must be none other than my master, Lord Vishnu. So they can't recognize God because they are covered. Krishna's Maya has a covering nature, covering force, a throwing force and a covering force. She throws the living entity into illusion. And if the living entity tries to escape, again she throws him and covers the living entity's real knowledge. So the demons, all of the demons are subjected to that throwing and covering potency of Maya Devi. Yeah. something else you have, right?
Yeah, I mean, is it that sometimes Krishna creates that illusion?
Does Krishna create the illusion in order to have the pastime? How do you mean creates the illusion? Who's the illusion for? Like, oh, but that's not illusion.
No, in order to put that illusion on,
Oh, okay, yes.
in order to
Possibly. I mean, the perfect example. So the question was that does Krishna make the other party illusion so that he can perform this pastime? He doesn't have to if the other party is affected by the material energy. Then they themselves are under Krishna's illusion. He doesn't have to place them in illusion separately. So he uses them in order to enact his own pastime. He takes advantage of the situation, and whichever living entities are suitable for the part. You know, like you want to put on a play on a stage, you're going to get actors who fit the role. Yeah. So there are living entities already who are perfect fits for the role. But in the case of Arjuna, then yes, the Lord will put Arjuna in illusion so that Bhagavad Gita can be spoken. That's a different case. Different case. Okay. All right, let's continue. So chapter 12. This is called Deliverance of Dvivida Gorilla. While Shukadeva Goswami continued to speak on the transcendental pastimes and characteristics of Lord Krishna, King Parikshit, upon hearing him, became more and more enthusiastic and wanted to hear further. Shukadeva Goswami next narrated the story of Dvivida, the gorilla who was killed by Lord Balaram. Does anybody know the story of the gorilla who was killed by Lord Balaram, Krishna's brother? Let's hear it. This gorilla was a great friend of Baumasuras, or Narakasuras, who was killed by Krishna in connection with his kidnapping 16,000 princesses from all over the world. And so this Baumasura had kidnapped 16,000 princesses. Krishna rescued them and married them and killed this Baumasura. So the gorilla Dvivida was Baumasura's friend. Dvivida was the minister of King Sugriva. His brother Minda was also a very powerful gorilla king. When Dvivida gorilla heard the story of his friend Baumasura being killed by Lord Krishna, he planned to create mischief throughout the country in order to avenge the death of Baumasura. So also because of attachment, mundane attachment to what one considers one's own, yeah, then one makes Lord Vishnu an enemy. Just like Hiranyakashipu, he was upset because Varahadev had killed his brother. It's my brother, and this person has killed him. So now Vishnu is my sworn enemy. That's how they think. As a result of illusion and mundane attachment to this body, thinking that I am the body, and thinking that anything connected to this body is mine and me, I, me, and mine. So, this Dvivida gorilla made Krishna his enemy. Because Krishna had killed his friend, Baumasura. His first business was to set fires in villages, towns, and industrial and mining places, as well as the residential quarters of the mercantile men who were busy dairy farming and protecting cows. Sometimes he would uproot a big mountain and tear it to pieces. In this way, he created great disturbances all over the country, especially in the province of Katwar. The city of Dwarka was situated in this Katwar province. And because Lord Krishna used to live in this city, Dvivida specifically made it his target of disturbance. Dvivida was as powerful as 10,000 elephants. Sometimes he would go to the seashore, and with his powerful hands, he would create so much disturbance in the sea that he would overflood the neighboring cities and villages. Often he would go to the hermitages of great saintly persons and sages and cause a great disturbance by smashing their beautiful gardens and orchards. Not only did he create disturbances in that way, but sometimes he would pass urine and stool on their sacred sacrificial arena. He would thus pollute the whole atmosphere. He also kidnapped both men and women, taking them away from their residential places to the caves of the mountains. Putting them within the caves, he would close the entrances with large chunks of stone, like the bringi insect, which arrests and carries away many flies and other insects, and puts them within the holes of the trees where he lives. So it's a real thing. I mean, I was just thinking how growing up, sometimes you hear stories or tales or fiction where, I mean, the Pied Piper of Hamelin is the classic example, right? He led all these children from the Hamelin and into some mountain cave and sealed it. Gone, lost forever. It's in the psyche. Well, this is one of the original, or maybe the original place. Dvivida gorilla would kidnap men and women and lock them in some mountain cave. And the example that is given here, like the bringi insect, which arrests and carries away many flies and other insects and puts them within the holes of the trees where he lives. This is somebody's fate, to be kidnapped and put away in some hole or some cave. He thus regularly defied the law and order of the country. Not only that, but he would sometimes pollute the female members of many aristocratic families by forcibly raping them. While creating such great disturbance all over the country, sometimes he heard very sweet musical sounds from the Raivataka mountain. And so he entered that mountainous region. So already we can, I don't know about you, but already I'm feeling that this guy deserves everything he's going to get. So hearing some sweet musical sounds from the Raivataka mountain, he entered that mountainous region. There he saw that Lord Balaram was present in the midst of many beautiful young girls, enjoying their company while engaged in singing and dancing. He became captivated by the beautiful features of Lord Balaram's body, each and every part of which was very beautiful, decorated as he was with a garland of lotus flowers. Similarly, all the young girls present, dressed and garlanded with flowers, exhibited much beauty. Lord Balaram seemed to be fully intoxicated from drinking the Varuni beverage, and his eyes appeared to be rolling in a drunken state. Lord Balaram appeared just like the king of the elephants in the midst of many she-elephants. This gorilla by the name of Dvivida could climb up on the trees and jump from one branch to another. Sometimes he would jerk the branches, creating a particular type of sound, kila, kila, so that Lord Balaram was greatly distracted from the pleasing atmosphere. Sometimes Dvivida would come before the woman and exhibit different types of caricatures. By nature, young women are apt to enjoy everything with laughter and joking. And when the gorilla came before them, they did not take him seriously, but simply laughed at him. However, the gorilla was so rude that even in the presence of Balaram, he began to show the lower part of his body to the woman. And sometimes he would come forward to show his teeth while moving his eyebrows. He disrespected the woman, even in the presence of Balaram. Lord Balaram's name suggests that he is not only very powerful, but that he takes pleasure in exhibiting extraordinary strength. So, he took a stone and threw it at Dvivida. The gorilla, however, artfully avoided being struck by the stone. In order to insult Balaram, the gorilla took away the earthen pot in which the Varuni was kept. Dvivida, being thus intoxicated with his limited strength, began to tear off all the valuable clothes worn by Balaram and the accompanying young girls. He was so puffed up that he thought that Balaram could not do anything to chastise him, and he continued to offend Balaramji and his companions. And this is a perfect demon example. When Lord Balaram personally saw the disturbances created by the gorilla and heard that he had already performed many mischievous activities all over the country, he became very angry and decided to kill him. Immediately he took his club in his hands. The gorilla could understand that now Balaram was going to attack him. In order to counteract Balaram, he immediately uprooted a big oak tree, and with great force he came and struck at Lord Balaram's head. Lord Balaram, however, immediately caught hold of the big tree and remained undisturbed, just like a great mountain. To retaliate, he took his club by the name of Sunanda and began to hit the gorilla with it. The gorilla's head was severely injured. Currents of blood flowed from his head with great force, but the stream of blood enhanced his beauty like a stream of liquid manganese coming out of a great mountain. The striking of Balaram's club did not even slightly disturb him. On the contrary, he immediately uprooted another big oak tree, and after clipping off all its leaves, he began to strike Balaram's head with it. But Balaram, with the help of his club, tore the tree to pieces. Since the gorilla was very angry, he took another tree in his hands and began to strike Lord Balaram's body. Again, Lord Balaram tore the tree to pieces, and the fighting continued. Each time the gorilla would bring out a big tree to strike Balaram, Lord Balaram would tear the tree to pieces by the striking of his club. The gorilla Dvivida would clutch another tree from another direction and again attack Balaram in the same way. As a result of this continuous fighting, the forest became treeless. When no more trees were available, Dvivida took help from the hills and threw large pieces of stone like rainfall upon the body of Balaram. Lord Balaram, also in a great sporting mood, began to smash those big pieces of stone into mere pebbles. The gorilla, being bereft of all trees and stone slabs, now stood before him and waved his strong fists. Then, with great force, he began to beat the chest of Lord Balaram with his fists. This time, Lord Balaram became most angry. Since the gorilla was striking him with his hands, he would not strike him back with his own weapons, the club or the plow. Simply with his fist, he began to strike the collarbone of the gorilla. This striking proved to be fatal to Dvivida, who immediately vomited blood and fell unconscious upon the ground. When the gorilla fell, it appeared that all the hills and forests tottered. After this horrible incident, all the siddhas, great sages, and saintly persons from the upper planetary system began to shower flowers on the person of Lord Balaram, and sounds glorifying the supremacy of Lord Balaram were vibrated. All of them began to chant, "All glories to Lord Balaram. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. By your killing this great demon, Dvivida, you have initiated an auspicious era for the world. All such jubilant sounds of victory were heard from outer space. After killing the great demon, Dvivida, and being worshipped by showers of flowers and the glorious sounds of victory, Balaram returned to his capital city, Dwarka. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 12th chapter of Krishna, Deliverance of Dvivida Gorilla. So now we'll have Bhagavad Gita class. Haridas Arya Prabhu is here. The verse is 15.3, right? 15.3 and 4, I think. And tomorrow we'll continue with our reading from Krishna book. It'll be chapter 13 of volume 2, The Marriage of Samba. If anyone is interested in purchasing a copy of this Krishna book for reading at home, then I'm pretty sure we have a copy in the reception area on those shelves. Thank you very much, everybody. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
At the book.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we'll now have a Bhagavad Gita class on chapters 15, verse 3 and 4. We'll start with Kirtan. Namo Vishnu Krishna Prishta Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण everyone please कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare everyone please Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So now we'll have a class on the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 3 and 4. So the verse is there on the screen. We have a very vibrant audience today. They're all very excited. So you can repeat after me. The verse is on the screen. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुव्रूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा तथा पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः Tameva chadyam purusham prapadde yata pravritti prashita purani. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from everything has extended since time immemorial. So, this is chapter 15, entitled The Yoga of the Supreme Person or Purushottam Yoga. As you know, this is the month of Purushottam. It's called Purushottam Mas or Malamas in India. It's called Malamas. Mala is not something which is very nice. So the reason this month is called Malamas is because there is no auspicious Muhurta to do anything in this month. That's why it was called Malamas. So the presiding deity of this month became very sad and went to Krishna and begged to be relieved of this stigma of being called Malamas, means inauspicious month. So Krishna, taking pity on the deity of this month, gave this month his own name. That's why it's called Purushottam Mas. Who is Purushottam? Purushottam is the name of Krishna. Purush means person, Uttam means the best. So one of the names of Krishna is Purushottam, the best among men. And the beauty of this month, as you can see, lamp is being offered. This is one of the activities you could do. So any spiritual activity you perform during this month, it gives you many times more benefit than any other month, even more than the Kartik month. So there's so much you could do in this month in terms of spirituality. You could come, take darshan of the Lord, you can offer lamps, you must have all, I suppose you have offered the lamp. You could do some seva, you could chant the holy names, you could read the Bhagavad Gita or any other scriptures. You could hear Krishna Katha, or you can speak about Krishna. You could do some volunteering, you could bring something for Krishna, like when you come to the temple, you could bring flowers for Krishna. Krishna likes flowers. Or you could bring some bhoga, like the ingredients with which food is prepared for Krishna. So after a short while, the curtains will close and the pujari will offer the bhoga to Lord. So if you bring something that can be used in the service of the Lord, so any, or you can make a donation which could help spread Krishna Bhakti, or help distribute Krishna Prasad to others. There's so much you could do in terms of spirituality. So yes, there is no auspicious muhurta for any material activity in this month. But if you perform any spiritual activity this month, the benefit is limitless. So we should all try and do as much as we can for Krishna. Ultimately, He is the source of everything. Whatever we are getting is by His mercy. It's like when you go to river Ganges. Has anyone been to Hardwar? You've taken a dip in the Ganges. So you'll see people offering Ganges water to the Ganges. So they didn't bring the water from home. They took the water from Ganges and offered it back to the Ganges. It's like that. So we've got everything by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So if we offer a little back to Him, so that is the best thing we could do. Showing some gratitude and our love. So doing something tangible for Krishna. So this is chapter 15, as I said, and Krishna, at the beginning of this chapter, so in the translation, Prabhupada talks about the real form of this tree. So what is this tree? So this tree is explained in the first verse of this chapter, where Krishna talks about a banyan tree. Now Krishna compares this material world or material creation with the banyan tree. And so in the first verse he says that it is said there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and branches down. Has anyone seen a tree whose roots are upward and branches down? No, there is no such tree. But there must be such a tree if Krishna is talking about. So we need to understand what this tree is. Right? So Krishna is talking about this tree which has its roots upward and branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So in this chapter, Krishna also talks about the purpose of knowing the Vedas. And then in the next chapter, Krishna talks about how this tree is nourished. So first he introduces the tree, then he talks about how this tree is nourished. It's basically nourished by the three modes of nature, sattva, rajas and tamas, mode of goodness, passion and ignorance, and also our fruitive activities, our karma. So, and then in this today's verse, so Krishna is talking about this real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. So now Krishna is making it clear the tree I was talking about, its real form cannot be perceived in this world. So and the reason its branches are down and roots are upward is because this is the reflection of the original tree, right? So when we look at a tree which is on the side of a lake or a pond or a river, you see the reflection. So in the reflection you see that the root is upward and branches are down. So when you see the reflection of the tree, that means there is an original tree. You cannot have a reflection without the original. So now Krishna is clarifying it in today's verse. He's saying the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this material world, in this world. So basically this tree that Krishna talked about in the first verse is the material world. And the real tree, what's the opposite of material world? What is the real tree? It's the spiritual world. Right? So we are currently living in the reflection, by the way. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. So Krishna says that you cannot understand, you cannot figure out the origin of this tree, or the foundation of this tree, or the beginning or the end. But then what do we do? So Krishna says, but with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree. So this is not an ordinary tree, this tree has strong roots. But Krishna is saying, no, with determination, you must cut down this tree, which has strong roots. With what, Krishna? With the weapon of detachment. Okay, fine. We've cut this tree, what do we do? Then Krishna, in the next verse, fourth verse says, thereafter. So once you have cut the tree, thereafter one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns. And there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead from whom everything begins. Okay, so once you have cut this tree, next step is, now you seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns. So there must be a place. So in this material world we know whatever comes has to go. Everything has a start date and end date. Every product you buy has a use by date. We also have a use by date or an end date. We don't know. Krishna knows, right? So everything in this world has an end date and a start date. So Krishna is saying, no, now you go to that place where there's no end date or start date. And there, so once you reach there, what do I do once I'm there? Okay, so once you reach there, Krishna says, you surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's talking about himself, of course, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. So Krishna is talking about surrendering unto that Purusha, but what Purusha? Adi Purusha, right? From whom everything has extended since time immemorial. So we do not know now this tree of illusion, this material world. So Krishna is talking about the importance of cutting this tree. So we can only get rid of a problem once we know we have a problem. If we do not know we have a problem, we will not do anything about this. So Krishna is introducing us to this problem. That look guys, I know you're happy here, you're having a good time, but this is not a place where you're meant to be. You know, it's like, has anyone been to Kumbh Mela? So Kumbh Mela has the busiest lost and found department. And there's constant announcements about, little children. Families visit Kumbh Mela, and there are millions of people. So sometimes the children are separated from the parents. So these children are brought to that lost and found, and they're constantly announcing, please, the parents of this child, please come to this tent and collect your child. So we are like that child who is separated from his parents. So in this tree of reflection, so this is an illusory tree. I will say, no, this is not illusory. I see this, I touch and feel this world. How are you saying this is illusory? It is like this dream. When we all have dreams, right? When we sleep. So when we have a dream, it feels real, right? When we are in the dream, for as long as we are in the dream, it feels real. When you see the tiger in the dream, you get scared, right? You even shout or scream and you cry for help. Why would you do that? It's just a dream. No, but as long as you are in the dream, it seems real. You are living that dream. So that dream lasts for, a few minutes to a few hours. And this dream lasts for 60, 70, 80 years, however long you would live in this world. So this is also a dream, and what you see when you go to sleep is also a dream. The only difference is the duration of the dream. Right? That is also temporary, this is also temporary. Right? So Krishna is saying that don't try to settle down here like Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. He left India at the age of 69 and went to the US on a cargo ship. At the age of 69, imagine. He had 2 heart attacks on the way, and he wrote all these wonderful literatures, scriptures in English language so the whole world could access the wisdom of India. So, one time a press reporter, when Prabhupada was here in England, he asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, why have you come here? In a challenging tone. And Prabhupada said, I'm here to give you what you did not bring from India. So you looted all the wealth from India, but this is the real wealth which you didn't take with you. So I've come here to give you the real wealth of India. So this is actually the real wealth. This is where we should put our heart. As Krishna repeatedly is talking about this. So this Bhagavad Gita is nothing but a manual to life. So we are in this material world. When you buy a TV, you get a manual. Like today I got a bread maker, it came with a manual. So you need to refer to the manual to use the machine. Similarly, this is the manual to operate in this material world. So Krishna is saying, Asraknar Prabhupada's guru, his picture is there next to Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. So he once said to Prabhupada, not to Prabhupada, he once said in a talk that you should not try to settle in this material world. Why? Because this material world is like a toilet. When you go to toilet, you don't want to settle down there, you do your business and leave. So that's how it is. Don't give your heart to this material world. As Bible says, you are in this world but not of this world. So we need to understand we are not of this world, but unfortunately we are in this world. So we should not try to settle down here. Same as we don't want to spend too much time in the toilet. So Krishna here is talking about, so first he introduces the banyan tree, then he says how this tree grows, then he says cut down this tree without wasting much time. He says cut down this tree. Why? Because there's no use hanging on to this tree. And then in purport, so we'll read Prabhupada's purport. It is now clearly stated that the real form of this banyan tree cannot be understood in this material world. Yeah, so we're talking about the real forms of what we are looking at is the reflection. This material world is the reflection. So that means the real form also exists. So the real form is the spiritual world, right? But we cannot perceive spiritual world by living in the material world. So if you look at the reflection of the tree, the original tree and the reflection share the same root. So the root of the material world is also Krishna, and he is also the root of the spiritual world, right? Because the root is the same. But since the root is, so now Prabhupada is talking about this material world, since the root is upwards, the extension of the real tree is at the other end. When entangled with the material expansions of the tree, one cannot see how far the tree extends, nor can one see the beginning of this tree. Yet one has to find out the cause. So in order to get out of this tree, you need to find out the cause of this tree, right? How do you get out of this tree? And Krishna further explains what to do. But we need to understand, as the reflection of the tree is in the water. So for example, there are so many trees in the park or the gardens here. You don't see the reflection. But if you go to the lake, you will see the reflection of the tree. That means the reflection does not always exist. It is conditional. So as the reflection stands in the water, similarly, the material world exists because of our desires. Because we have a desire to enjoy the material world, that's why the material world exists for us. Otherwise, there is no existence of this material world. You see? So we were all in the spiritual world at one point in time. We decided to enjoy separately from Krishna. So Krishna said, fine, go have a good time here. Once you are frustrated, then you come back. And Krishna has designed this material world in a way that over a period of time we'll get frustrated. After taking millions and millions and millions of births and deaths, we'll come to that point of inquiry. Why am I here? Who am I? Right? Until that point, we'll go through these different species of life, 8,400,000 species of life. So, why I'm saying this material world exists because of our desire to enjoy. So, if we do not have any desire to enjoy the matter, this material world will cease to exist for us. And we will go to that place which Krishna is talking about. Thereafter, one must look for that place from which, having gone, one never returns. So this material world depends on our desires. As long as we have the desire to enjoy, we'll have the material world for us. We'll just keep on changing the bodies. It will not go away. So the material world is not somewhere we should spend a lot of time. Krishna is saying, just cut this tree. But now how do you cut this tree? So this tree is basically our material existence. Right? Krishna, being the most merciful, most compassionate Father, doesn't want us to loiter around in this material world. So he's saying, just cut down this tree, don't waste your time here. So the problem is how do we get rid of these desires to enjoy? So Krishna is saying two things. You cut this tree with the weapon of detachment and with determination. Without determination, you cannot do anything. Right? You had some determination, you had some desire, that's why you came here. Right? Or you could have still be sitting at home, right? Even though the weather was not good, you still came here because there was some determination that I want to go, right? So similarly, you need some determination and detachment. So detachment is like half of the story, other half is attachment. So yes, so you can detach yourself from this world. So how do you detach? Detachment comes naturally with attachment, right? So for example, you have some bad habits. Many people have bad habits due to bad association. How do you get bad habits? Due to bad association, right? Jaisa sang vaisa rang. Right? So similarly, good habits come when you keep good association. In good association, when you hear Krishna Katha, when you honor Krishna Prasad, when you will read Krishna books, scriptures, slowly and gradually that detachment will come. But that detachment, you also need to have attachment. So some positive engagement in Krishna consciousness and Krishna bhakti. So that's how. So you develop attachment. You associate with people who love Krishna. Then you will slowly and gradually develop love for Krishna, right? So Krishna talks about determination and detachment. And then surrender. So how do you surrender to the Supreme Personality of God? The surrender would is so bhakti, the 9 process of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Path Sevanam, and so on. So when we perform these various limbs of bhakti, when we participate in Shravanam and Kirtanam primarily, so what we are doing now is Shravanam, we are hearing, right? So hearing is the most prominent sense. When you're sleeping in the night and there's a fire in the home, if there's no fire alarm, you'll probably sleep in that house until you die. But if there's a fire alarm, you immediately wake up. Why? Because the sense of hearing is most prominent. You don't hear the fire burns silently. But if you hear the fire alarm, you'll immediately wake up. So even though you're smelling smoke, but you'll not wake up. But if you hear the alarm, you'll immediately. So that's why Shravanam is most important. Once you hear about Krishna, slowly and gradually you develop love for Krishna. Right? It also depends on who you hear from. You have to hear from a bona fide source, right? Which is in the parampara, as Krishna talks about in chapter 4, evam parampara praptam. So this knowledge is received in disciplic succession. And yes, so carrying on with the purport, yet one has to find out the cause. So how do you find out the cause? Like Prabhupada is giving example, I'm the son of my father is the son of such and such person, etc. So you want to you do this inquiry. So if you do this inquiry, you ultimately reach Lord Brahma, who is the Parampita of this material world, who has created all living entities in this material world. And once you reach Brahma, then you try to find out the father of Brahma, who is Lord Krishna, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So by searching in this way, Prabhupada says in the purport, one comes to Brahma, which is generated by the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Finally, in this way, one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the end of research work. That's it. Once you have reached God, that's it. Your research ends. So one has to search out the origin of this tree, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through association of persons who are in knowledge of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. If I want to know about somebody, I have to find out that person who knows about that person, right? Who can tell me about that person? Only someone who knows that person, right? So all these persons, basically it's talking about disciplic succession, devotees of Krishna. Only a devotee will tell you about Krishna because he knows Krishna, right? You cannot go to the supermarket and ask for Krishna. They don't have Krishna, so they can't give you Krishna, right? So then by understanding one becomes gradually detached from this false reflection of reality. So currently we have a very strong attachment with this. So what is this attachment with this false reality? I, me, mine. So whatever is associated with this body. So first of all, we think I'm Mr. whatever, Mr. X or Miss Y. Because we relate to this body, everything that is related to this body is mine. That's how the illusion increases in degrees. Right? This my wife, my children, my home, my car, my this, my that. Right? Why? Because I think I'm the body. So everything related to this body is also mine. And then you get into dualities of friends. And he's my friend, she's my enemy. So he's neither my friend nor she's my enemy. Because I'm not this body. Unfortunately, I think I'm this body. So then this is a friend and this is an enemy. Right? So Prabhupada is talking about the importance of getting detached gradually. It's not like a flick of a switch. It'll happen gradually. You'll gradually come to this platform where you'll realize that this is false identity. And by knowledge, one can cut off the connection and actually become situated in the real tree. Now, you could also spend your lifetime thinking about how did I land here? But what's the use? Yeah, if you've fallen into a well, you won't spend two years researching how did you fall in the well. Yeah? You'll immediately want to get out of the well, right? So similarly, you don't waste time thinking, how did I come here? I was there. What happened? Why am I here? No, don't waste time. Now you know you are here, and this is not the place where you are meant to be, right? Krishna is telling you again and again. Krishna, being most merciful, has made these scriptures available, right, for us to understand who we are, why we are, where we are. So this knowledge which Prabhupada is talking about, this is the knowledge. This is the knowledge of the scriptures. You use this knowledge to cut this tree, right? So slowly and gradually, it will happen gradually, it will not happen overnight. And then Prabhupada further explains in the purport, the word asanga is very important in this connection because the attachment for sense enjoyment and lording it over the material nature is very strong. So this attachment for sense enjoyment is you cannot give it up so easily. What you've been doing for not years, for lifetimes, you cannot give it up so easily. But the human form of life is the only opportunity that gives you this chance to understand. Right? A dog cannot inquire from his father, Dad, why am I here? No. The dog father also doesn't know. But only in the human form of life you could make this inquiry. You have the access to the scriptures. You know who Krishna is. You know the purpose. You can inquire about the purpose of human life. In any other species of life, you cannot do that. So at the time of death, you will not have an excuse to tell whoever comes to claim yours, to say, I didn't know. They'll remind you of this evening. They say, by the way, you went to the temple, remember? And you heard that, didn't you? That they'll play the whole movie in front of you, so you cannot say no. Right? So they'll say, you knew it fully well, you were told. You did not care to do anything about it. So now, please come with us. I don't want to talk about that destination. It's not very pleasant. So better we do something and try and get out of this illusory tree. Therefore, one must learn detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures like the Gita, Bhagavatam. And one must hear from persons who are actually knowledge. Now, you cannot hear just from anyone, right? There are so many people who will say, no, the purpose of life is just be good, do good, that's it. No, that is not the purpose. So how did they find out that is the purpose of life? Right? So you need to understand who to hear from, right? As a result of such discussion and the association of devotees, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Shri Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Then the first thing, so once you know about this, then what do? Then the first thing you must do is surrender to Him. Right? So once you have understood all that you are doing is of no use, and now you have found about Krishna, and Krishna is asking you to surrender. In fact, there is only one verse in the Gita that Krishna repeats. Does anyone know what that verse is? There's only one verse Krishna repeats in the Gita. Just imagine how important is that instruction that Krishna has to repeat. There's only one. Anyone knows that? It is Man Mana Bhav Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So you'll find it in 9th chapter and the 18th chapter. And what does Krishna want you to do? Very simple. I mean, it's not very complicated. Otherwise, you will tell Krishna, oh, it was so complicated I couldn't follow. So Krishna has made it very simple. So what is Man Mana Bhav Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru? Man Mana means engage your mind in always thinking of me. Mad Bhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, offer obeisances to me. Mam Namaskuru, and worship me. So when you come to the temple, you offer your respects to Krishna. So you are doing one of the four, right? You worship Krishna, you are doing two of the four. Engage your mind always in thinking of, no, this is a difficult one, to engage your mind always thinking of me. It's not easy, right? But why does Krishna want you to always engage your mind? Like one time, Srila Rupa Goswami and his elder brother, Sanatan Goswami, approached Lord Chaitanya in Ramakeli. So they were born in pious Brahmin families, but they converted to Islam. It was Mughal rule at the time, and the Muslim ruler forced them to become Muslims. So they assumed the title of the Bir Khas and Sakar Malik. But they were very, very learned and pure devotees of Krishna. So when they learned that Lord Chaitanya, who is the incarnation, who's Krishna himself in the form of his devotee, has come to Ramakeli, they want to see him. And they wanted to go join up with Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya said no, there is some time. Actually, Lord Chaitanya later, he understood their desire to leave everything and join him, so he sent them a letter, and in that letter there was an indirect instruction. Of course, they could understand, but very, very instructive for us. So Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya in that letter gave an example of a woman who's married and has a paramour. So what happens if a married woman has a paramour? She is more attentive to her household duties than any normal wife, because she doesn't want her husband to doubt her. But what she does is, all the while when she is working at home, she's thinking of her paramour, thinking of plans to meet her paramour, because she loves her, although she is living in the house of her husband. So Lord Chaitanya said, this is how you need to live. Of course, you are serving the Mughal king. That's fine, but you can always engage your mind in thinking of me. So no one can check you what you are thinking. Right? I can hear what you speak. I don't know what you're thinking. Can anyone know what you're thinking? No. So Krishna is saying, so as Krishna instructed Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami to be like that woman who has a paramour, who always thinks about her paramour whilst living in the house of her husband, so he wanted him to serve the Mughal king, but think of him all the time. So we can, we have to live in this world, we have responsibilities, duties, and so on and so forth. But what stops us from thinking about Krishna? Now, of course, it's not easy to think about Krishna because we have so many other things to think about. But as Prabhupada uses this word gradually, it will not happen overnight, it will happen gradually, slowly and gradually. Yeah? Slow and steady wins the race. So it's not a switch that you can turn on and turn off. It will happen gradually, but it needs practice, determination and detachment and attachment to Krishna. Then it will happen. Yeah? So who you are attached to, you naturally think about that person, isn't it? If you are attached to a person, you're thinking of that person, right? You are here, but you're thinking about that person. Has he eaten? Has she eaten? Well, it's natural for a mother to always think about the little child. Right? So it is natural for us to engage our mind in worldly matters. So why not Krishna? So we just have to replace world with Krishna. It's not easy, but it happens, as Prabhupada says, with association of spiritually minded people. As you'll start to hear about Krishna, as you'll talk about Krishna, as you'll read about Krishna, slowly and gradually your mind will be engaged in Krishna. Right? Then the first thing one must do is surrender to him. The description of that place, whence having gone one never returns, to this false reflected tree is given here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original root from whom everything has emanated. To gain the favor of that personality of Godhead, one has only to surrender. And this is a result of performing devotional service. So how does this surrender happen? This surrender happens when you perform devotional service. As I said, there are 9 limbs of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, so on. So by hearing, by chanting, by doing some service for Krishna, by in the association of devotees, slowly will come to the platform of surrendering to Krishna. Krishna, he is the cause of the extension of the material world. Krishna, it says, Sarva Karan Karanam, he is the cause of all causes. So he is also the cause of this material world. This has already been explained by the Lord himself. Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. So in chapter 10, Krishna explains, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvita. Krishna says everything, material or spiritual, emanates from me. The wise who know this engage in my service with full determination, wholeheartedly. And then it says, I am the origin of everything. Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of the strong banyan tree of material life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders into Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material extension. It's like this, when you get a higher taste, you don't have to work hard to give up the lower taste. The lower taste automatically goes once you have a higher taste, isn't it? So similarly, once you get this higher taste of Krishna consciousness, your lower taste will go automatically. Right? This detachment, as Prabhupada says, one becomes detached automatically from this material creation. You don't have to strive to get detached. It will happen automatically. But you follow the process. And what is the process? Now Krishna talks about the process in the next verse. So if you're here again tomorrow, you'll hear about the process. It's the 5th verse. So as I said, this material world is an illusory existence, although it feels real, but it is temporary. Even though you like here, why does Krishna want you to get out of this material world? He also, because this is a place of dukkha. It's a dukkhalayam ashashvatam. He explains in chapter 8, verse 15. What does Krishna say? After attaining me, so in Sanskrit, Krishna says, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Dukkhalayam means, dukh means misery, alay means a home, and ashashvatam is temporary. So Krishna explains this world as a temporary place of suffering. Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gata. Krishna says, after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. This is why Krishna wants us to leave this place ASAP. And he explains how to do this, right? We know it. This is not the place. No, you could say, no, I'm happy here. Of course, there is some happiness here, no doubt. But it is fleeting. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. It's not permanent. You've experienced, right? You get some happiness, for sure. But then it goes as soon as it comes. And the problem with the material happiness is that, see, this material world is a world of duality. If there's a good, there must be bad. This is beautiful, there must be ugly. This is a world of duality. What that means is, when you get material happiness, it comes with material distress. It's like two sides of the coin. You cannot get happiness without getting the distress. Once you get the happiness, the more you are attached to that happiness, the more you lament when you lose. Isn't it? So you are very happy today because you are honored. Everyone respected you. Oh, Prabhu, you are such a great man. But what happens when you are disrespected? It is said that for a person who is respected, dishonor is worse than death. You cannot take it. There's so many people who end their lives because they cannot take it. How dare she do this to me? How dare he did this to me? They end their life. They cannot just take it. But they do not understand the basic philosophy because they do not read this manual of life in this material world, which is Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains everything. Right? So I'm not against happiness. I don't want to depress you. Right? There's surely happiness in this world as long as we understand the nature of that happiness. It is there, but it is temporary. It is fleeting. It'll go like that. It'll come, it'll go. It'll come, it'll go. Of its own accord. So what do? Krishna explains how to deal with that also. I think it's verse 5.20. Yeah, in verse 5.20, Krishna says, a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments upon achieving something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the signs of God, is already situated in transcendence. So this is the formula. So now I know I have to cut this tree of illusion, but I'm still here. Am I not stuck? No, you're not stuck. If you do not have a desire for material enjoyment, for you this tree does not exist. It is like that mirage. It does not exist for you. This illusion does not exist for you. Why? Because Krishna is saying here, even though you are in this world, but if you do not want to enjoy in this world, then you're not on this world. You are already in the spiritual world, right? If you're on the platform of self-realization. And what is that platform of self-realization? Krishna is saying, when you get happiness, you don't rejoice. And you get something unpleasant, you don't lament. Because you know it is coming of its own accord. The problem comes when we achieve something, we think we are the cause of the result. That's when we have to suffer when we lose it. If we know that yes, it's coming, but I'm not the cause. Krishna is the cause. And when it is gone, I'm not the cause. Krishna gave it and Krishna took it. It was his in the first place anyways. Right? So why am I claiming it to be mine? The problem is to the extent you claim it to be yours, to the same extent you have to lament when it is taken away. And it will surely be taken away. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. Krishna says at the time of death, I'll take away everything. Sarvas. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. I'll take away everything. Right? So we'll have Aarti in a few minutes. Gaura Aarti. Does anyone have any comments or questions? All right. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope what I've said has made some sense. Thank you. We'll all rise now in preparation for the Aarti. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna everyone. The lyrics will be up here on the screen. I sing first and then you can repeat after me. And the audience will start in a minute. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman
Shri Srimad Abhay Charanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotra Sada Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Govinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Shri Mayapur Dham ki Jagannath Puri Dham ki Gangamai Yamunamai ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani ki Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki Transcendental Book Distribution ki Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Nitai Gaur Pramanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Everyone can please be seated. We'll sing the prayers for Lord today.
Can I request everyone to sit down for 5 minutes, please, so that we can have the nursing prayers for our protection? Thank you. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Lad Daine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Ilatankhana Kalae Hito Nasimo Parato Nasimo Yato Yato Yamitato Nasimo Bahe Nasimo Hridaye Nasimo Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade Tav Kar Kamal Vare Naka Adbhut Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavadita Nar Hari Rupa Jai Jagdisha Hare Jai Jagdisha Hare Jai Jagdisha Hare Kamal Vare Naga Udjinga Kalikar Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavadita Nar Hari Rupa Jai Jagdisha Hare Jai Jagdisha Hare Jai Jagdisha Jaya Narasimha Dev Narasimha Dev Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Shri Narsingh Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much all for attending the Aarti. Prashadam is now being served outside in the adjacent room, and the next Aarti will be at 9 o'clock. Thank you.